Amazing to talk to you. I have so many questions, so much to speak with you about today. First of all, just how are you in general? How's life? How are you feeling right now?
I'm excited. You know what? I'm excited. It's a really special time in Miami right now. We just celebrated Thanksgiving holiday. This week is like crazy with Art Basel and all these parties, and like the city's like there's just buzzing with this amazing energy. And then of course next week we have the premiere, and then it's like the Christmas and the holidays. So it's like an amazing time of year.
So you're a vet now,
A
you
vet,
have,
that's a
you have
that's an
one.
aggressive term.
Well, I think of it like this. You have your first season under your belt. You shot the second one. You're coming back. You've been through some things. You've been through BravoCon. So I think that counts somewhat. I think that you have enough experience to kind of take on that title.
Thank you. It's this season was definitely, I think, easier than, your first rookie season when you don't know, like you're just getting to know everybody. The relationships are fairly new and you're getting used to the cameras and everything. So this season was definitely easier. I think the friendships are more established. You kind of know your people for good or for worse. Um, so it's easier for sure, but the drama and the arguments and all that stuff, it never gets easier.
True, true. So I want to talk a little bit about work. What has work been like coming in now that everyone has seen everything that happened the first season, the reunion, and so forth? How was that experience like for you? Because you indicated that you've been very regimented in your life before this experience. So now you have a whole aspect of your life that can be commented on, so to speak, at work. So what is that part of it like?
I'm incredibly blessed that I have a wonderful like work family. My job has been incredibly supportive of filming, and my coworkers are wonderful. Like everybody's really been very nice and very, they're always like, man, they were so mean to you. Like no one, the negative comments have honestly been negligible. Everyone's been really supportive. They work with the filming schedule. So if I have something, a colleague will cover my shift. Like I really have nothing but great things to say about my work and how great they've been. And patients sometimes, I'm like in the middle of talking to them about anesthesia and they'll be like, oh, can we take a selfie? And that to me is a little bit like off-putting because like I'm on doctor mode, right? And I'm trying to be professional and I'm trying to talk to you about anesthesia and the risks and benefits, and you're like, let's take a selfie. That throws me off a little bit. But then I'm like, I think it's nice when a fan, wants to take a picture, and it, I try to take the hats off quickly.
And switch it up.
Switch it up, exactly.
So your tagline this season is all about the ring and that experience. So we know for your first season, there was a lot of conversation about you saying, we're good where we at. We are our people. We choose each other every day, which is very beautiful. But now you're getting married and you're stepping into that mode. So what has that experience been like? Experiencing that both on camera and then away from camera, those changes to your family dynamic.
So getting engaged was a complete surprise, but beautiful nonetheless, right? Like who doesn't want their partner to tell them like it's you, I choose you forever. It's a beautiful experience, and I was happy to have that private moment off camera. But then I was happy to share with fans and the rest of the cast our engagement party, which you'll get to see this upcoming season. It was a really beautiful event, and we paid homage to Las Vegas, which is where we met, and it's going to be a really fun episode, I think. And in terms of wedding planning, we've got so much going on. We just sold our house, we just bought a house, we're in the process of remodeling that. We're like, there's a lot of stuff going on, so we haven't like jumped on the wedding planning bandwagon, but we're thinking destination wedding vibes, probably something on the beach, more quality over quantity, something more small and intimate. I don't think I want to go through this huge hoopla of like a 500-person wedding.
Yeah, it could be tricky, especially when you start thinking about who to invite and who not to invite.
Oh,
So,
girl, I will uninvite someone real quick. Like,
like, no
I
problems with
don't
that.
want bad juju at my event. Like, if you're coming with bad vibes, stay at home. we did get someone got disinvited to the engagement party for having bad vibes. So I will cut someone off real quick. I protect my energy.
Which is important majorly, right? Because you got to protect your
Absolutely.
space. So you mentioned about friend groups and friendships being more solidified in this season for you. How has that changed for you from season one to season two? Are you surprised with who you are closer to when you were filming season two, or who you maybe moved away from and when you look and compare both of the seasons?
It's hard to like explain this to people, but we're like sisters, right? Like you fight with your sister, but then you love your sister, and then you're not talking to her for a couple days, and then you're friends again. So it's really a roller coaster. I think the my friendships with Gertie and Julia have continued to strengthen. We bond over the fact that we joined the group kind of at the same time, and initially we're struggling to find our footing in the group. So I think we all like that resonates with all of us. And then of course this season, I think we all showed up for Lisa, who was having a really hard time. And so I think all of our friendships have strengthened with Lisa independently. And it's been really nice to go closer to her and like to have our kids spending time together. Grayson and Logan have become really good friends, which is so sweet. And some of the other friendships are still work in progress.
Yeah, we'll just say, yeah, we'll come back to that. But you mentioned Grayson. So, how is Grayson reacting to all of this? Because surely at his age, the cameras, the hoopla, and things like that, it must be different for him. So, how does he understand what's happening?
He sees everything as a toy. Sometimes they'll come in with the boom and like the little like fluffy microphone, and he'll like try to jump up and grab it, or he wants to play with the lights. Like he's just a kid. He's 3. He doesn't fully understand. Like today I told him, I was like, oh, mommy's gonna do some interviews, and he's like, you're gonna be on TV? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, no, no, no. He's like, I don't want you to be in the TV. Like he still doesn't really like get, I think, what's happening. So, but he has fun with it. And the cast, honestly, and like production are so sweet with him. They're super patient. Anytime we're like doing a scene with him, they understand that he's 3.
So let's talk a little bit about style, because obviously you ladies bring it and bring it out. So who is your favorite style icon amongst the cast? You can't
Amongst my
yeah,
cast, or do I get to like
amongst
go
your
all
cast.
housewives?
Let's say your cast.
Okay, so my cast. So Lisa and I will show up to an event and I'm like, I have that. And she's like, I have that. So I feel like if I had to switch closets with someone, I would switch closets with Lisa because I would get most of my stuff back. So in saying Lisa, I'm saying myself.
So speaking of other franchises and things like that, have you made any connections with any of the wives on any of the other franchises you might, or did you run into them at BravoCon and connect? Have you talked to any of them? Is that an
I have
experience?
to tell you, I was I mean, again, I didn't know what to expect, but I was really surprised at how nice everybody was at BravoCon. Like all the other Bravo celebrities, the other housewives were just like incredibly kind. And then we all started following each other on social media. And some of us have, had conversations. The girls from Dubai were wonderful. Like Lisa and Chanel were super sweet. Whitney has been like incredibly nice, and we chat a lot. I know Tiffany Moon isn't on anymore, but from Dallas, we are always texting. There was an anesthesia conference and she texted me. She's like, are you here? So a lot of the women have been really nice and really friendly. I didn't have one negative experience at BravoCon, thankfully.
Amazing. That's good. So who do you think has the most drama this season?
You know, when I think about all the drama in the group, I would say the vast majority of it stems from Marisol. I always say that she's like a professional pot stirrer. She always comes by with like these little tidbits of information, like I heard, and she like sprinkles it. And then like she leaves. She just like drops these bombs. So she like is the instigator of the drama, right? She's like, someone texted me, someone messaged me, I heard. There's always these things that she hears that like start the drama. So I would say that she is the fire starter. But then like Larsa is like the accelerant
Okay.
of the fire. Like Marisol throws the match
Yeah.
and then Larsa pours gas on it.
She's the flamer. Got it. So, one of the things that we explored in season one was your relationship with your parents. And I know we get a little deeper into that in season two. Seeing the trailer, there's a strong moment with you and your mother. What has been this experience like for you walking through those moments of your childhood and examining your parents' relationship as you build your own and make those decisions related to that?
You know, I would say that that's honestly one of the best things that's come from this show is like the self-reflection that you have to do, like looking back at yourself. And I'm super close to my mom. My mom's my best friend. Like I spend a ton of time with her. But to hear her tell me how sometimes I can project like my perfectionist tendencies on her and I can hold her to these incredibly high standards and how she feels like criticized sometimes, it was hard for me to know that like I hurt her sometimes being so controlling and type A. So I've tried to step back a little bit and be more self-aware and try not to hold other people to such high standards. I kind of just like accept people for who they are because my mom told me that, my dad told me that, then Anthony told me that, and so I'm starting to think that I'm the problem.
Sometimes we just have to see ourselves reflected to make things
Yeah.
easier and come
So
together.
it's been a good growing and learning experience that I probably wouldn't have had if I wasn't on the show. And I'm all about evolving, like if I don't want to be stagnant, I want to be a better person every day. So if I had to cry on national television because my mom told me that I was hard on her, so be it if it makes me a better person.
So, do you think your parents will get back together, by the way? That's just random.
My brother and I joke about that all the time because they are best friends. Like they talk every morning. They'll go have coffee, they'll have lunch. If one's sick, the other one makes them soup. So they are very close, but I think they're just like best friends at this point. Like I can't imagine them being romantically involved. But, never say never.
So, we have the premiere coming next week. That means fans are back engaged.
Yes.
What would you tell them that they should be prepared for this season?
I think fans need to be prepared for everything. Like if I had to describe this season, I would say it's a roller coaster, right? Like it starts off, in my opinion, like, like a little slow, but then it's like boom. And then there's a huge drop and it's like, what is happening? And then, you think things are getting better. And then there's like a turn, and then there's a turn in the other direction. So I feel like you're going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to be pissed, you're going to experience a whirlwind of feelings. And I think it's an incredible season that fans are really going to enjoy.